Good morning and welcome to Love Every Moment, coming to you today from the Black Hills of South Dakota. Today's verse is 1 Corinthians 13:3. And if I give all my possessions to feed the poor, and if I surrender my body to be burned, but do not have love, it profits me nothing. Zero. And we're going to talk about some zeros at the end of today's lesson. Now, we started with the gift of tongues, and we saw that you can have the gift of tongues and still not have love, which means you're not a Christian. You could also have the gift of prophecy and understand all mysteries and knowledge. You could even have all faith to remove mountains and not have love, which means you could do all of those things and still not be a Christian. Those are spiritual gifts, but now we're getting to Christian acts, giving all your possessions to feed the poor and surrendering yourself to martyrdom. Those are incredible Christian acts, very major Christian acts, and even those alone, without that love relationship, are nothing. So let's look at this. There is no verse in the Bible that says you have to have a certain spiritual gift to be a Christian. There's no verse that says you must speak in tongues or else you're not a Christian, or you must prophesy or else you're not a Christian, or any other spiritual gift. But there are verses that talk about this in verse 3, that you do have to give away your possessions to feed the poor and surrender your body to martyrdom. Let's look at those verses, because that really throws a wrench into this a little bit. Now, here's one that most people don't quote. It's Luke 14:33. Jesus says, "So then, none of you can be my disciple who does not give up all his possessions." Yes, that's in the Bible. We have to be willing to give Jesus everything about us, and actually, not just our possessions, everything about us, our very lives, we have to give to him. And of course, he gives us much more in return. Well, let's look at the martyrdom part. Matthew 16:24, Jesus said to his disciples, "If anyone wishes to come after me, he must deny himself and take up his cross and follow me." So, in that day, we might think of take up your cross as some sort of idiomatic expression, and perhaps that's true in this day, but I think that was clearly understood by the disciples, that you have to be willing to sacrifice your life. And indeed, nearly all of the disciples ended up being martyred in one form or another. So back to our main verse. Whoopsie. So again, we have those spiritual gifts that we don't necessarily have to be a Christian, but we have to be willing to give away all of our possessions to feed the poor, and we have to surrender our body to whatever God wants, including martyrdom. But it's possible to do even those amazing acts without love and still not be a Christian. So yes, we could actually give away all of our possessions and still not be a Christian if we have no love relationship. And even surrender ourselves to martyrdom for the sake of God. You would think, oh, that will get you into heaven. Not without a love relationship with God. Now, I'll grant you, not many people are going to surrender themselves to be martyred if they have no love relationship. But the point being, the martyrdom in and of itself, as amazing as that is not enough. It needs to be a love relationship with God. Now, I'm going to steal something from J. Vernon McGee, who said that the gift of tongues is a big zero. The gift of prophecy is a big zero. Knowing all mysteries is a big zero. And having all knowledge is a big zero. Having faith to remove mountains is a big zero. Giving away all your possessions is a big zero. And even surrendering to martyrdom is a big zero. But if we start off with a love relationship with number one and put that one in front of all those zeros, now all of a sudden all those zeros have a lot of meaning. So all those things are good, but they're no good unless we start with our love relationship with number one. Because if we love every moment, we're going to love every moment. I'm your average wretch, and I hope you have a great week.